Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 27 of Pariahs. Click the button, turn up the music, and yeah, hello, we're back. Back Sunday once again. It doesn't feel like 5 minutes ago it was Sunday again. Ah, dear me. But yeah, we're as you can probably see by the flashbang of colour, still in the dream realm even. I was hoping for some juicy gossip there.
I mean, we're about to mark the way from Dream Realm, but okay, fair enough.
27. We're getting there. We're powering through. How are we all?
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Good. Anyone want to kick us off with a bit of a recap from last session?
Yeah, Dorian, what was your dream sequence?
Oh, well. Yeah, we started on that, didn't we?
We did.
Okay. Everyone was able to see the dreams / memories of Dorian, but not how they were probably expecting to. Rather than seeing from the inside out on a lot of these things, they were seeing from the outside in, as if from the perspective of a spectral being that was trying to get in and just couldn't for some reason. From there, they went on to a fleeting memory of another person that they would recognize but not really know the same as they do now. That of probably the last memory of the fleeting Charlton Hestwood that has now been incinerated. As Cypher said, it was less of a reminiscence and more of a purge. And then everyone got to see what this particular flavor of hell looks like, and see it up close and personal firsthand, and Garrett really doesn't like it.
Not wrong.
Yeah. TripAdvisor, 1 star. Will not go again.
Mm-hmm. You know, wouldn't even buy tickets if it was Captain Kirk selling them to you. The Shat Man himself. Anyhow, you know, blowing things away to proportion. We survived. It was fine. We got out of there. And I believe after that, we were going into an entirely different type of trippy, weird place. The opposite. One much more welcoming to those cold in their veins.
Indeed. Into the frigidness of Garrett's memories. Garrett, what did we see there?
Mm-hmm. Well, we had a visit into Garrett's memory palace. And as Garrett is a more lucid dreamer, he had a lot more control of what we're going to be looking at. And when we get inside, there's a lovely corridor full of doors to Garrett's memories, recollections. And before Garrett had a chance to utter a warning, Vanya was opening doors.
Anything in your defense there, Vanya?
That's exactly what happened. But in Vanya's defense, somebody should have said before we walked in to not open doors.
Or maybe That's just something you should fucking know when you're in someone else's mind palace.
Yeah. When I eventually get over there, Jump, I'm just going to start opening random doors in your house.
You just said mind palace.
Good luck.
Sorry, Garrett, do continue.
And upon opening the door, she was greeted with a beholder. A monstrosity from Garrett's memory. They didn't want to visit again, and he managed to, using his Twilight Step ability, managed to slam the door before, well, somebody got disintegrated.
Not going to lie, if I'd ever had the beholder at hand, someone would have been getting a disintegrate.
Yep.
So I did you all a favor by doing it immediately instead of holding off to give solution time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the positive thing that came out of it.
So moving through Garrett's memories, we saw his childhood, his adolescence, the first sproutings of manhood where he joins the Red Guard. But unfortunately, due to a little bit of a wobble in the concentration, we ended up being pulled deeper into a memory. Of a war zone. And that's where tonight's episode will start.
Pretty much. Nailed it in one. So, we've so far seen the backstory of Cypher, Dorian, Vanya, Reza, and today we'll continue with the last stages of Garrett's memories. Before I do that, then ad break already. Fucking Twitch, man. Starts in 3 minutes. But Just Smith.
Think happy thoughts.
Think happy thoughts. Just Smith, Solid 10 D&D, Ravon. Hello, how are you today? I'm not going to say hello to you, Jump, because you're there. Hello, Jump. All right. Hi. So, with that said, then let's change the music over and bring us back to where we were last week. After I put my headset in.
Professional.
I know. So, with the scenery around you shifting and warping, the current vision burnt into your retina is that of a vast, almost hellscape. The lands of the Feywilds stretches out from this cliff that you're overlooking. A large crack seems to break the land almost in two. There, swirls of magic, that of ice, of fire, coalesce into this deadly array of magics. To your left, to the west, lands of the Summer Court, perhaps once verdant green, abound with life, both plant and animal alike, now burning on fire. Large shards of ice seem to crisscross across the landscape. On the opposite side seems to be the Borderlands, which leads to the Winter Court. Here you can see mountains, trees topped with snow, but also this all-consuming fire has now started to spread onto the lands of the winter. Down below, there are thousands, potentially even tens of thousands of individuals, creatures, great, small, all engaged in a almost apocalyptic battle. You see spells crisscrossing the sky, lightning bolts, ice shards, fireballs, firebolts, almost as far as the eye can see. This is not just a little skirmish, no, this is a full-scale battle zone, a full-scale war between the summer and winter courts of the Fey Realm. To the point where even the sky itself is starting to churn, royal in magical energies. Garrett.
Okay, well, we see the main body of the Winter Court army. The commander shouting his orders. A younger Garrett at his left shoulder. Obviously his second in command by this time. The battle is almost at an impasse. No side taking the upper hand. Furious floods of fire going one way. Sheets of ice going the other. What looks to be mythical animals running at either side. Obviously druids in their wild shapes. And this grand melee in the middle. It's an absolute bloodbath. But you see a circle of spellcasters from the Summer Court casting together. And all of them are casting what looks to be a spear of pure fire. Bigger than you thought would be possible. And it gets launched not at the main body of the soldiers or the Winter Court's mages, but straight at Garrett and his commander, Commander Magnus Bracken, Garrett's mentor and the supreme commander of the Winter Court armies. Spear flies true and hits Commander Bracken dead center in the chest. He's engulfed in fire. Garrett, using all of his honed abilities, manages to hop away and evade fiery spear. But unfortunately, his commander drops down dead, a smouldering corpse on the battlefield. And you start to see the armies of the Winter Court start to wobble. As panic sets in, they know their commander's fallen. And the Summer Court is now gaining the upper hand in their eternal struggle. So So I've just had a cat leap on me.
It's alright.
So all eyes around him turn onto Garrett. First man asks, do we retreat? Another says we must report back to the Queen. You can feel the desperation in the air. Garrett stands up and dusts himself off. Tilts his head to one side in the manner he usually does when he's thinking. Some say scheming, but Garrett likes to think of it as thinking. And with a steady, rich voice, he calls out, hold your lines. Swordsmen to the front. Archers, mark your targets. Mages, knock out that circle. We will stand. And you see a shudder go through the Winter Court. Soldiers stand a bit straighter. The arrows start to fly. An eruption of an ice pillar shatters the circle of Summer Court mages. You look something up quickly.
No, sure, good. Take all the time you need. Is there any questions from the party whilst you see this titanic battle being played out in front of you?
Seems fairly straightforward. There's a battle.
Yeah.
Titanic battle.
Found what you need, Garrett?
I have indeed. I'm ready to go.
Crack on.
Cool. Once the lines solidify and the Wintercourt army starts actually making a little bit of ground, Garrett turns to one of the mages near him and asks him to amplify his voice.
Quick wave of the hand. Thaumaturgy is cast.
Commander, the Summer Court army. This battle is futile. Neither of us are taking the upper hand. I challenge you to combat. Whoever wins takes the field, whoever loses will be allowed to return to their own lines.
You would all see, as the image of Garrett down below booms out this command to the opposing commander. There's a brief bit of fighting for just a few moments before another voice rings out. This time, not loud, it's not as if they are using magic to amplify their voice, but almost the trees that are, at this point, the vast majority are either burning or frozen solid, but for what plant life does remain, there just seems to be this melodic voice that rings out across the battlefield. Countess of Garlands will answer your call, Commander of the Winter. Step forth, and we shall settle this like the old ways. There's a brief moment of pause as both fighters on the Winter Court and the Summer Court turn, look at each other. But eventually, you see just off on the Summer Court side of the field, the smoke, the fog, the mist that was concealing starts to part. Those who are magically inclined know this is control weather, a rather high-tier spell. But you see that the haze is lifted, and just off towards the Summer Court side of the field, a half-ruined but still eloquent-looking fortification remains on a hill. What's Garrett do next?
The old ways it is. You and yours against me and mine. You've picked a location. We'll meet there. Soldiers of the Winter, stand down for now. This fight is mine. You have done well today. And Garrett starts striding up towards this the old fortification, stopping briefly to pick out a couple of his trusted friends, retainers, to join him in the battle.
Vanya? Vanya?
Yes.
It's been quite chaotic. I think this is time for one of those tests of yours.
So, as they've been watching, Reza feels compelled by a promise she made to Garrett a very, very long time ago. She knows how important this dream journey is to him. So she feels compelled to go over to Vanya and put an arm around her shoulder and hold out a fresh pastry and tell her, "You are the most powerful mage I know, and I believe in you. If you can turn me around with your program, this is child's play for you. You've got this."
Are you admitting that it worked?
Yes.
She's just beaming.
You have been the most positive influence in my life ever, and I don't know what I would have done without you.
Yes, you're right. You would have failed.
Roll me a d4, Vanya.
Why are you gonna ruin everything?
Okay, carry on.
Continue, Reza. I'd like to hear more about this.
Well, I think we should focus on getting Garrett through the dream and accomplishing his goals. And then afterwards, we can brush each other's hair and you can overhaul my wardrobe.
For a brief moment, Vanya, you cast a glance over Reza, and in your mind's eye, you see Reza dressed almost like you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, she starts dreaming of her in a luxurious gown with a feather hat.
That's a poor choice of words.
I was I was trying to help and you just fluffed it up.
Well, you distracted her.
So, it was a good roll. Until in RP you said that you were dreaming of something else.
Good job, Reza.
You would follow Garrett and roughly 6 individuals down this makeshift gap of the Summer Court army. There's easily hundreds of soldiers either side of you. The 6 soldiers stood with Lieutenant Garrett at the front, or Commander Garrett at this point. All seem to be dressed in a deep crimson armor. Similar-ish to perhaps the Crimson Court, but or at least in colour. The rest of it, you can tell that these 6 individuals are their armors are magical. The swords at their side that they are gripping tightly whilst walking through a Summer Court soldiers are also exquisitely made. The vision of this dream begins to shift ever so slightly, like time speeding up, as before you know it, you are walking up a set of stairs towards the fortification you saw earlier. It's here as Commander Garrett with his 6 guards reach an open courtyard. You would see arrayed in front of you a elven woman stood high on a stairwell that leads towards perhaps the grand chamber of the castle, surrounded by 6 of her closest aides. But it's also at this moment where something feels off, as per the use. Time slows down. All of the individuals, just as Garrett steps forward, or Commander Garrett steps forward to converse or perhaps duel with this Countess of Garlands. There's a few shimmers, a few cracks around the edge of the dream. Vanya, you push the thought of Reza in a dress out of your mind. And for a brief moment, you catch a glimpse that if you'd have lost your composure, perhaps all of this may have just crumbled and turned to chaos. Instead, at the far end, you begin to see this Countess of Garlands at the far end blink, followed by just one of her guards. There's a moment where she glances around, looks at the guard who's also doing the same, looks at the frozen forms of the Red Guard and the other Garland soldiers, and you hear from the Countess at the top, "What sorcery is... Who are you? It's a Winter Court ambush." With that, she begins to slowly, well, no, not so much slowly, but immediately starts chanting a spell. if you want to do anything, you might want to roll initiative.
Yeah. I just had to refresh because all my spells are done. And do lolly tap.
You just hear this brief chanting as the other soldier, who's now fully aware, just starts shouting, "Guard, soldiers, to me! To me! Alanvar, move! Wake up, you fool!" And at that, he draws his sword. 14 on a roll, Vanya. That was good. That means you didn't have all of the rest joining in. But with that, Reza, you're up.
Okay, what does she see around here?
In general, or...
I had to zoom out. I'm good. I'm special.
So, basically, directly in front of you, you see Garrett, or Lieutenant Garrett,
Yeah.
along with the Red Guard, who are currently time-locked in this dream, along with several other of the Garland soldiers who are also frozen out. There only seems to be 2. The powerful persona of the Countess herself and one of her private guards.
Gotcha. Then Reza is going to swear softly to herself, and she is going to pull out Thicket and cast a grasping arrow.
Nicely done. The arrow flies true, striking him. Vines burst, grapple around him for 5 points of damage. And the grasping arrow...
2d6 poison damage.
Okay. And if he tries to move...
And he takes 2d... His speed is reduced by 10 feet, and it takes 2d6 slashing damage on the first time on each turn it moves 1 foot or more without teleporting.
And it's against athletics. Cool.
And then she's gonna try and do the same thing to the other chick who's not dreambound.
Okay. Send it. That'll work. That'll hit. For a grasping arrow again. Yeah. This time it bursts, it ruptures. The Countess of Garland's is... That's not bad.
So that's 11 points of damage.
Yeah.
But now, if they move, they take an additional 2d6 slashing damage the first time they move. And that's my turn.
You just hear her shout out at this. Who are you? What? Assassins of the court? No, you're not. Feel none of the Fey energies from... And this is a moment where the arrow hits her. But due to the fact that she was in the process of casting a spell, she's going to use a legendary action. In fact, she's going to use 2 legendary actions to cast a spell. And as that spell would be... Yeah. Wall of Thorns. Shh. you just see that the large roots around the chamber begin to coil round, delve into the ground below, and then burst up in front of you all. Shielding you from her view. And she from yours. With that, though, Garland Soldier is... Ooh, first going to make the athletics check. That's certainly not going to be enough, so he's going to stay where he is for now. He's going to hold an action, and that action will be to attack the first thing that starts to get closer to the Countess. Cypher, you're up.
Rightio. Well, since he didn't move, I'm just going to Shadow Bolt him.
You can't see him over the wall of thorns that's just sprouted up in front of you.
Okay.
It is 10 feet high.
It's 10 foot high.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna just climb these roots on the left-hand side then. And I'll be like here in the roots and just peer over the top.
just for the sake of memes, because these at this point, these are the vines that are starting to wreathe around to create this wall of thorns. Just roll me an acrobatics check. Let's just go with DC 8. Yeah, all right, never mind.
20.
That'll do it. You scamper up the vines, get to the top, peek over the edge, and yeah, you've got.
I just Shadow Bolt him.
Or not.
Jesus. Okay. Or not.
Any further actions?
No.
Nope. The Shadow Bolt flies out, and just at the last minute, he ducks, seeing you pop your head over the top. Dorian.
Well, this wall is a problem. Don't think I have anything that can really do much about it, but it is a wall of thorns, right?
Yes,
Just
you
like-
can move through it, but for every foot you move through it, you must spend 4 feet of movement. And furthermore, the first time a creature enters the wall on a turn, or ends its turn in there, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw, otherwise taking 7d8 slashing damage, or half as much on a...
Tell you what, I can't really get through there, and I'm not in the best of shape. So,
Okay. Alright, yeah, fuck, why not? Why not? I am on board with it. I am on board with it.
it doesn't matter if it's gonna work. That's what
No,
he's like.
you know
"All right,
what?
but we got to do this."
That's smart. I like it. Sure. Why not? As I'm going to say that you burn as you reach the hands out, you begin to burn away at the vines, and you manage to create a gap where the roots begin to pull back and recede as they're just on fire. This turn, I'm just going to leave a 5-foot gap in front of you that anyone can pass through.
There. Just want to see what it would be.
Yeah. So I'm going to say for the moment, you just start burning a 5-foot gap in front of you. That will last until the start of your next turn. Or sorry, we'll go for the end of your next turn. So then you can get through. Or you can get through now if you wish. Your choice.
Yep. And he's
Cool.
going to have his shield up because he's expecting to definitely get freaking just blasted. But he's going to just step... Why can't I click it? Did I go into measuring?
You might be on measuring.
I think...
I'll put you through just in case, if that was it.
not sure what it is. Oh yeah, I can grab myself now. All right, so
Okay.
he's just gonna step through.
Yeah.
To there with the shield up, and
Yeah. And yeah, go on. I'll let you finish your turn first. You're going to see that the Garland soldier at the far end quickly whip a hand down to his belt, draw a dagger up, with the intention of his action. The held action is going to be to throw a dagger at you.
Mm-hmm. I figured as much. So action was cast Burning Hands, and he's just had to get that extra 5 feet of movement just so people could get past him. But he's just gonna have the shield up, and he'll act as a he's trying to just act as a wall for where they're going through.
Absolutely. And you just hear the clatter of metal on the shield as the Garland soldier just throws a dagger from his belt in your direction.
And I guess that's the end of his turn.
Garrett, you're up.
Well, seeing that there's a nice little Gucci gap there, I'm going for it.
Yeah. You can pass through the ghostly visions of your past self.
Oh, no. I'm using the measuring tool because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to go through.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get behind the ghost of Garrett. Ghost of Garrett?
Yeah.
Pre-Garrett.
The Garrett of Christmas past.
Yeah.
The ghost of Garrett past, yeah.
And I'm going to try and make him solid because it's his fight, not mine.
Oh shit! Okay. How do you want to do it?
I cast Sonic Whispers, but aim them back towards myself, and then think of younger me, and just call him. Garrett, time for your fight. Your destiny is ahead of you. For House Blackthorn.
I think that sounds to me like a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not? Big money, big money.
Fuck off.
That will fucking do.
Oh, nat 20. Let's go. Okay. Let's make him a little bigger. As you tap him on the shoulder, the time lock seems to drop. Commander Garrett or Commander Blackthorn? Let's rename him to Commander Blackthorn for the minute. There we go. Looks over his shoulder, looks at you, looks around at what's happening. What would one Garrett say to another Garrett?
Old Garrett, or me, holds up the Blackthorn ring, which he instantly recognises. Don't question it. Win your...
Alright. God damn it, I didn't think of that. What would the response be?
His eyes settle on the ring for a second and then go wide. Looks at the features of an older Garrett. I don't understand this, but I don't need to. And he just goes running forward.
I'm going to let that be your action. Do you have any bonus actions? Any further movement, Garrett?
Bonus actions, no. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
And before young Garrett runs off,
Yeah.
I'm going to give him...
Guidance.
Long strider.
Okay. All right. The tap on the shoulder. A mutter under the breath. Commander Blackthorn feels his pace quicken even more. That's an extra 10 foot of movement. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Should you already be badly injured?
No, sorry, I copied you for a minute there.
Yeah. Fair.
There we go. I mean, if nothing, having fought that battle, I'm certainly going to say he is injured.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
There we go. All right. Cool. In that case, then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop his initiative to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And have him go after Vanya.
Yep, cool.
So, Vanya, you're up.
Well, Vanya's gonna go through the little tunnel of thorns to come through where they're at, and she doesn't feel so good about grouping up, so she's gonna kind of go over here and kind of hide a little bit, and she's gonna kind of look out. And then is going to cast... Oh, what do I want to cast? Let's see how Rainbow Inferno just does.
Okay. Very well, it would seem.
Okay, Rumpus, be with me.
Yeah. It's not a bad damage roll either. She's hit for 10 damage and is set on fire, I believe.
Yes.
I believe I do
A
have.
flammable object is hit by a spell, starts burning if it's being worn or carried.
On a hit, the target takes a flammable object hit. Okay, yeah. So it's not. No, she doesn't actually go on fire. So it's just straight damage.
Oh, she does, like, because they're close.
If you're targeting an
then
object, then that sets on fire. But with this being a person,
Okay.
but I'll give her a nice little chromatic flame just to show that you've hit her, and she does need to make a concentration check. Which she passes just. Ooh. All right. Sorry, go on, Vanya.
So Vanya is just gonna kind of crouch down, over here,
Mm-hmm.
and hope for the best.
All right. That you done? Yeah. Commander Blackthorn, 40 foot of movement is gonna move.
Yeah, he's going to give wide enough berth not to get involved.
Yeah.
In
Yeah. And putting action to dash. We'll get him.
Yep, get behind her.
Slip round.
Mm-hmm.
The first blade, she dodges. Second blade. He hits. as the second psi knife stabs into her back. Oof, 3 damage. Past Garrett, not as good.
I see past Garrett is as lucky as today Garrett.
But she does need to make a concentration check. So, let me quickly roll. Which brings down the Wall of Thorns. As she's shanked in the back, she's too busy trying to dodge the incoming blade that she loses concentration and the Wall of Thorns fades away. Seeing that, though, and someone being oh so close to her, she is completely scuppered my original plan. Yeah, the main thing straight off the bat, she's going to deal with Commander Blackthorn. She hits, spins round with the blade, and it carves him straight across the chest.
Real uncanny dodge that.
Real uncanny dodge that. Yeah, okay. Let me apply that, and reaction, uncanny dodge, which halves it. So you just see the Countess of Garland spin round, a sword drawn, cuts across Garrett, but he dodges back just at the last minute. She has got multi-attack, so she's going to do it again, because that's really the main threat at the minute, annoyingly. We're going with the pruning blade. Oh, that's crit!
Damn.
That's a crit! Garrett, this is not how you remember this stream going down.
No, not at all. I don't suppose Mr. Blackthorn's got my fucking equipment as well.
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't think so.
You just see Commander Blackthorn just carved across the chest. A big gash opening up. Top of the round, Reza, you're up. It would be Raybon.
Reza?
That's cruel. So go on.
Well, I had a plan for if the thorn wall was still there, but it's not, so... Reza strongly believes that the main fight belongs to the 2 Garretts. So she's gonna keep working on the other guy over here.
Okay.
With Thicket. It's gonna be an aimed shot.
That shot certainly aimed. 21 hits.
Damage for an aimed shot. Let me just...
It's the next dice up from what... Do we not have aim shot on Thicket anymore?
It is. It should be a 1d10, but I can't change it to a 1d10.
Just roll 1d10. But roll the damage, I'll add a 2 to it. 10, 11 damage. There we go. First arrow hits him in the chest. He stumbles back, still under the effects of the grasping arrow, as the second arrow flies in. That should have not been that. It should have been that, actually. The second arrow hits. As long as you don't roll a 1, a 2, or a 3, you're good.
I'm gonna do this.
You're going to do this?
Yeah.
What's this?
That.
That!
1d10 plus 4 is 9.
What happens to him?
He just kind of, the second arrow just like in the chest, and he just kind of like just slumps down where he is, and it's just like bleeding out all over his kneeling body.
with the Garland soldier dead. Get him out of combat. Any movement? Any bonus actions, Reza?
She's not gonna move. She's gonna chill. That's my turn.
Cypher, from your elevator position,
Yeah.
what are you up to?
I shall use Gloom Barrage at 3rd level.
Okay. Oh, Gloom Barrage. It's good.
That's 4 and 1 more. It was a mixed bag, wasn't it?
It was. The various blackened shadows crash into the back of the Garland Countess. She doesn't seem to have a counterspell. You get the impression by this point that she is very nature focused rather than arcane. Granted, she is tough. Any movement? Any bonus actions?
No. I'm up here. Like, I'm not going to tempt fate by jumping down and snapping an ankle. So yeah, I'll stay where I am.
All right. In that case, she is going to use her legendary action to cast Into the Thicket. You would see her form shift, turn hazy for a brief moment as various petals wrap around her from the surrounding area, and with a gust of wind, the petals are blown away. She is not there. Only for a brief moment later, you see her pop up on a vine behind Vanya. Dorian, you're up.
Well, that's pretty high up, it seems like. Ranged combat's not really my thing.
You can go climbing if you so wish.
Well, he's gonna just take a step away from Garrett here, getting a little bit. I don't know, just doesn't want to be directly next to anybody with somebody that casts spells that hit areas. And he's gonna say, well, let's try this, and this is the most I think I've used spells in a fight.
No, man. It's good. Oh, okay. Con saving throw. That's what's their con like? We'll find out. Not good. not good at all.
So from his hand, holding the flail that he just can't reach her, he's going swings, and as does a whip of flame unfurls, grasping her around her waist and burning away at her. That much fire damage.
All right. Excellent. She lets out a pained cry as her form just bursts into flames. And this slash, if I'm reading this correct, just stays wrapped around her.
For the duration, basically at the end of every one turn, she can repeat the saving throw,
Okay.
and at the beginning of each of their turns, they take 2d4 fire damage.
Oh no. That you done? Any bonus actions?
Dorian's just vaguely wishing he could use this as a tether to pull her off of her high spot. So he's concentrating and can't cast any other spells.
I'll let you roll an athletics at disadvantage against her athletics as a bonus action if you've got nothing else to do.
Actually, I think what we're going to do is he's just going to, seeing that he has a full line of sight here, it's going to be cheeky, use the rest of the move. He's going to get right down under behind the spine so she can't see him, just this burning whip is between him and her.
Awesome.
And there.
Garrett, you're up. She's lit up like a fucking flaming Christmas tree at the moment.
Fortunate that, isn't it?
Ah. What are you up to?
There we go.
Absolutely fair.
And being a summer court fae, should be a little bit on the old weak to cold magic.
Yeah. Yep. So that's just straight 3 points of damage, I believe, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which turns... Where did I apply that? Did I apply that to you? I may have done. Alright.
You probably did.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Alright, there we go. So that's 6 points of cold damage to the Countess of Garlands as you burst into existence right next to her, a wave of frigid energies bursting forth. What else do you do?
And as I burst forth, I just go in with this side blade.
Excellent. Oh my god. You were bitching about your dice earlier.
Critting on a 19 is chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Mm-hmm. Yep, you plunge the side blade into her. 18 damage, yeah.
Whereas I'm a sneaky fella.
I'm going to throw in a sneak attack.
That's a pretty good sneak attack.
Pretty good sneak attack. Shank.
Yeah, and I get this one at advantage because I hit with the last one.
Yeah. 18 will
18.
do it. That's a hit. Fucking hell.
Today Garrett's a lot stronger than yesterday's Garrett.
Yeah. Like a man possessed, you just carve into her. She's already flaming, burnt, slapped in the back by shadow magic, set on fire by Vanya's prismatic flames. Anything else you would like to do?
Yes, I'm going to use my movement
Okay.
just to step round her to this side.
Okay. In that case then, Vanya, you're up.
Well, I feel like to kind of balance all of the things out, let's try to hit her with like a lightning spell. I'm using Witch's Bolt at level 4.
Oh my god. Overkill.
Yeah. I'm like, why not? Let's do it.
This is a proper insult. Witch Bolt against the Fae? Yep, you hit. Oh no.
Does it automatically does the extra, like, does it add?
Correct. Yes, it does.
Okay, good.
For those in chat, that's a lot of D12s.
Yowza.
Shit, a brick!
They used to do that.
So,
Don't cross the streams.
Kind of wishing I'd used Sanguine Tether on my last turn now.
Can I save, like, 1 point for...
You want to knock her basically just unconscious out of the fight?
Yeah, but I want to save her for the Garrets.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to completely...
Well, how do you incapacitate her then, Vanya? Because with 45 fucking damage... What was that roll? That's a pretty good roll, apart from the 6.
I think I may like this spell. So since she's just kind of she's on this thorn, and Vanya just kind of dreamed of like a little puddle underneath her, and just kind of just zapped her to the point where she couldn't move, and she just kind of lays on the thorn now, and in front of Garrett.
Taser.
Yeah,
just basically like a taser. Yeah, she's been tased.
On fire, she's got a flaming lash around her waist. Vanya's there tasing the shit out of her. It's just fucking awful. I love it.
But she's gonna sit there and keep like tasing her with this until the Garrets can come and do whatever.
I mean, yeah, okay. In that case, seeing this, you would see Commander Blackthorn begin to set off at a sprint, and then in a similar move to Garrett. Doosh. As he seems to just skip all of the steps, hits the ground at a full sprint, and then with daggers raised high, leaps into the air, disappears, and appears inches in front of the Countess of Garlands. How does Commander Blackthorn finish this off?
He puts both daggers, one either side of her neck, jerks them together, and literally decapitates her with 2 side daggers.
The head drops down 10 feet from on top of the vines, slamming into the ground below. Apart from your intervention, Garrett, is this similar to how it went down?
I don't remember being as hurt as this, but the death was exactly how I remembered.
It's at that moment, with her head hitting the ground, all of the spells, Vanya's Witch Bolt, Dorian's Lash, well, where do we go from here, Garrett? Vanya, you seem to grasp control once again of the surroundings. But Garrett, oops, yep, go on, Reza.
Before we phase out of the scene, can Reza try and run over and grab the head and put it in her head bag and see if it stays with her?
Sure, give it a go. We'll find out. You run over, scoop the head up off the ground. Anything from anyone?
Dorian released the lash is released, so Dorian's just looking at this scene and sees Reza bolt over. I check if she has anything, any potions or anything while you're at it.
And at that, Reza will rifle through the pockets of the corpse to the gape-mouthed astonishment of Commander Blackthorn, most likely.
So this is where I turn to Garrett and say, Garrett, did Commander Blackthorn ever rummage through the body? Do you know what was on her possessions at the time?
No, he treated her with respect and didn't loot her corpse. 'Cause it was a
Well, she's getting none of that now.
But sadly, due to that fact, because Garrett didn't know what was in the pocket, nor do you guys. This is.
But I expect. But
You-
I expect fully that she's
expect
gonna have
it.
some kind of potion. I 100% do.
Yeah.
So it's like this person fits the profile. She had a little like vial of like, oh yeah, okay, you know, she really expects that she does.
Roll me
Can you imagine it?
a DC8 deception check.
She was a druid though, so she did have healing magic. Because healing magic
Power-
works with Pharaoh.
The power of
True.
dreams compels
Aren't
thee.
you trying to
power
deceive
of
Reza
belief.
here? Because she's the one who's checking.
Wow. I fucked that one entirely. Nope. I don't think that she has anything.
I can't find anything, Dorian.
Yeah. Blast.
It's like I can't even move her clothes to look. It's quite odd.
Which is weird because she's not wearing much at all.
Vanya's gonna reach into her pocket to her half-eaten pastry and said, "Here, try this, 'cause sometimes I think these pastries heal me."
Who are you handing it
Chewed
to?
on this.
It's, but Dorian, it's okay. You can just don't like eat on the other side.
You can keep your leftovers.
Oh. All right, they can be magical sometimes.
Dorian's just going to be looking at these other ghosts and stuff around, making sure that none of them are, being just deceptively still moving, like don't notice me or something like that.
You glance around and they are all frozen. In fact, you begin to see that just at the edges, this place seems to be slowly breaking apart. As if, I dare say, Garrett's shown you what he needed to here. It didn't go as expected, but that's Vanya for you.
Before we start disappearing, I look at the younger Garrett. Take the head, display it in front of the armies, and you'll have won the day.
Younger Garrett looks down at the body, down at Reza.
Reza pouts slightly and hands at the head.
At that moment, as...
Don't,
Sorry, go on, Garrett.
don't ever mention seeing us. We were never here. I just ask one favour from you. Tell our parents and our sister that I love them all.
With a nod, the younger Garrett reaches out towards you, Reza, takes the golden hair of the Countess, hoists the head up, and it's at that moment where crack. Flash of white and you are back in the palace. And it's there. We'll call a quick pee break and refill a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We will be right back, everyone. I need to refill the drink. Nice little scuffle. Won't be a minute. Won't be a sec.
I was wondering what was going to happen if young Garrett died. What would that done to old Garrett?
It was only just a dream.
Sure. Yeah.
Could be one of those falling dreams that if you hit the bottom, you'll have a heart attack.
That's moderately horrifying.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm back. Water required and the last of the pirate's grog.
F for the fallen soldier.
Granted, it's a pretty decent glass.
Still no grog in the States.
Yeah, get fucked.
I mean, there's plenty of things to drink
Yeah, of
instead.
course
But,
Missing out on a whole market of drunks.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the tariffs, there'll be like $50 a bottle.
Ooh.
Easy.
So, with us now back in the corridors of Garrett's memory palace, stood next to you, Vanya, you just hear a raspy voice.
Well, that was interesting. Was it not?
Corin just stares at Vanya, blinks.
Yeah, it was very interesting. What'd you see?
Everything. Now, where?
Turns towards you, Garrett.
How did you feel? Almost getting cut down. Did you feel what your dream self felt, or that was unusual, different?
It differed from my memory. I don't feel any ill effect from the blows Dreamy took.
Coroner scrutinizes you for a moment, his eyes narrow.
Different from what you remember, but as you said, was the scenery the same?
Yes, I remember every line on her face. This was one of the most important turning points of my history.
Good. Good. Well, if that is the case, then I dare say I am sufficiently attuned to the goings-on of this realm, so show me what you wish.
Okay. We go on to the day I lost my parents. And with a resolute set to his shoulders, Garrett starts walking.
Vanya, roll me an Arcana check quick. Holy shit, that was good. The dream crystal in your grasp suddenly starts to glow. The emanations, magical energy, excuse me, coming from it seem to grow stronger, to the point where it almost feels as if the nurse herself is stood alongside you, right next to you. You would know now that's... Whilst before, she was no doubt just dipping in and out, looking, perusing at what was going on. Now, from wherever she is, she has turned her full attention to what's about to transpire. And you just hear a voice in your head. Oh, a trip into the Fey world. The Winter Queen's court? I can feel it. Huh. Keep that to yourself, though, my dear. This is going to be so interesting.
Would it, and she says this a lot. What do you mean, like, you know, that you could feel it, or?
Can't you, now that you've been in here for so long, can't you just feel like with just a slight push, you could just slip your way into any of the dreams of those gathered here? Even the coroner himself.
Well, he's asked me to stay
Of
away from
course,
that. And,
of course, but don't you feel that you could do it now?
I mean, I do feel like I have been learning how to control it a little bit better. I must admit, I have had some slippage.
Oh,
But
we all do.
You're saying all this out loud?
Yes.
Vanya, who are you talking to?
To the nurse in the crystal. I think. Do you not hear her talking?
No, we don't.
She's always with me. But she's guiding me, right? And I think, well, I don't know if she's given me any advice yet. I was gonna say I think she's been helping, but I can't pinpoint where she has given me any advice that has helped so far. That's good news, because it's all been me.
Yes, and it's gone swimmingly so far.
It has. Like, I am getting so much better. Like, I'm getting quicker at controlling it once I've messed up. That's what I was just telling her, you know. I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger at it. I mean, don't you agree?
Sure. But maybe you should concentrate for this next part, yeah?
Oh, of course. Like, I try to, you know, tune things out. Of course, you know, whenever someone starts talking to me about things that excite me, sometimes I get a little, you know. And she looks at Reza.
Well, just think about how exciting it would be to tell Jacqueline about this powerful magic you've been able to do.
I'm gonna have to ask you to stop, because I'm gonna start thinking about that and not concentrating.
Sorry, I will stop trying to help. I'll just be over here being quiet.
Yes, because, you know, then I'm gonna start thinking about the things that you're telling me to start thinking about, and I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Vanya, just shh. Shh.
Please concentrate on the job in hand. The last thing I want to do today is to be fighting my family members.
Oh, is that a... option? Okay. Where I'm with you, Garrett. Wherever I'm here, I'm focused.
And we stop at a door bigger than any other we've seen. The door frame on either side, two massive trees. On each tree is a shield with the symbol for House Blackthorn. But the door, instead of looking like wood, looks like polished glacial ice. The markings of the winter court etched all round. And anyone that's even slightly magical attuned can feel a power behind this door. Garrett puts his hand on the padlock. And slowly it starts to melt. And then the door opens.
I need to DM you something quick, Garrett, just for
Yeah.
clarification. Talk to yourself briefly.
Going down the hallways, Dorian is just exhaling, breathing, just like the biggest clouds of fog he can and watch them drift away while we're walking toward the next door or stop along the way.
Reza will fall in next to Dorian and quietly hand him a potion of greater healing. Do you want me to just roll it? Do you have the ability to roll it, or do you want me to?
I think you need to, since you clicked it.
Oh, okay.
You can roll it. I'll just apply it. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you. Oh, this has been a rougher trip than I expected.
Worst night's sleep I've ever had.
I miss
We're
not
still
being,
alive.
not having to sleep.
But we're all still here. I call that success.
You call existing success. Well, I suppose it's more success than not existing, and that's just failure. But, aspire to a bit more, yes?
I just think us getting out of here, still existing, as you were saying, is that's the measurement that I'm going by. It might be a little bit of a low bar. Well, also, and then getting what we came for, right? I need to add that to that.
That would be the main thing that I gauge our success by. Not that it wasn't fun seeing the giant eyeballs and you floating around the back of your mind.
So that would be if we got that and not everybody came back with us. As long as we got that, it would still be a success. Is that what you're telling me? So we're
getting out of here with everyone with what we came for, and that's a success.
okay. That's what I'm measuring to as well.
We're not losing anyone to the figments of imagination, illusions and delusions alike. We'll leave that to the common people of lower streets.
Just gotta concentrate.
So at this moment you hear the door swing widely open from where Garrett was. A frigid, freezing gust of wind roils down the corridor, and you are met with a beautiful, if incredibly cold, landscape view. Behind the doors is a forest. Within the forest there are several wisps, spirits, and various other creatures that seem to mill around, going about their business. It's there, though, that just off on the horizon you see built into the mountains this enormous, grand castle, gleaming as it's made purely out of ice. Beautiful, but terrifying, intimidating. To the point where even the tallest spire seems to almost pierce through the clouds ahead. In the background, a sky, clear. Stars, various swirls of magic auroras, but it's snowing. It's snowing even though the skies are clear. A complete contradiction. But even though this is a dream, a memory, there is a deep feeling in your soul of pure power here. Something very similar to what you all felt near the obelisk with Reza's dream. Just something in this castle on the distance is a being that has the sheer force of will, the authority to command the elements itself around here. Garrett, I pass it to you.
It's always snowing here. She likes it that way.
How deep is the snow?
Not hugely deep. It never gets deeper. It stays how. Think of it like a Christmas card, where the snow's just always there.
Yes, it's like a snow globe. It's always snowing, but
Yeah.
it never ever accumulates
Mhm.
beyond like what is just aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
A realm of contradictions.
And as we start walking forward, we get to a natural, almost crossroads, where you would think all roads lead to the Winter Queen in the Winter Core. And at this crossroads is very finely crafted teleports circle. Magical circle, if you will. But instead of like the normal arcane runes that you would normally see, it's made from vine. They've twisted out and frozen in place. Coroner.
Like a shadow that was always there, you just hear behind you. And if anyone turns, it's almost like he just materializes, suppressing his presence 1 minute, there the next.
Yes.
Is this target sufficient for your needs?
Coroner looks around, looks up towards the palace.
It is closer than I would have liked, but yes, this will suffice. A moment.
The coroner begins to make his way towards the circle. Looks around. Sees everything. And after 2 minutes or so of quiet contemplation, he turns back to you, Garrett, and nods.
Seen it, I have, but this place feels disjointed, shifting constantly, so should I attempt in the future, we may be a few steps away. But I understand, grasp the general location.
Oh, it worked. But as he says that, his feet start moving almost unconsciously. And anyone close enough to hear will hit. Anyone close enough to him to hear, will hear him say, they'll be at the tree soon. If we hurry, we can see them.
As you all take your eyes off the coroner back towards Garrett as he's walking off, the presence of the coroner just disappears. Still there, but obviously trying his best not to influence things further than the original little angelic scuffle.
As we start making our way up towards the Winter Queen's abode, come across a very tall tree, ancient, and with a familiar tearing sound and a greenish glow. A portal opens in the tree. 3 people walk out. Garrett darts back and hides. But close enough he can see 2 women and a man. One young woman. One very, very old woman. Very, very old man. Garrett's sister, mother, and father. Now, Garrett's mother, being an elf, she's lived longer than any elf he's ever heard of. But not surprising, because she's lived in the Feywild. And the magics there are potent for people who please the Queen. Garrett's father looks similar to all of Garrett's memories. His hair is now white. He's a little bit slower on his feet. But you can see the years, centuries etched into his face. Every wrinkle tells, well, a generation's worth of knowledge. And the young girl stands in between them. Not in her natural changeling appearance that she often adopts at home, but she looks full-blooded Fae today. She takes both of the parents in each arm and says quietly, "Garrett's waiting for us at the castle. We have plenty of time, so we'll take it slowly." Garrett's father, with a twinkle in his eye, says to her, "I could race you up this ramp, young one." And then starts hobbling his way up.
There's a brief flicker as almost like time fast forwarding for you all as you find yourself moments later at the top of this curved spiraling ramp that leads all the way from the lowlands up the mountain towards the central doors of the Winter Queen's palace. Now, this isn't a palace made for defense. This is not a palace that's got portcullis and gates, guardhouses along the way. No, this is a palace of opulence, of power. As you reach the top of the ramp, there is basically a central road almost that leads the entire length of the palace itself. And at the very far end, easily 500 or so, if not more, meters away, half a kilometer, there is what appears to be a large snowflake that glows blue with power. You approach Garrett?
Oh, yeah. I follow close enough to still see my parent, but not close enough to be noted.
With the rest of the group in tow...
And as I...
Oh, so go on. Yeah.
And as I pass the gigantic snowflake, I just whisper to myself, the heart of winter.
At the far end of this concourse, as you all follow Garrett's family and Garrett himself down, it opens up into a large chamber in the middle of the palace. In the centre, a throne. Stairs leading up to it. Ice wrapped around. Almost comforting in a way. But the oppressive atmosphere, the sheer sub-zero temperatures would make even the dead feel uncomfortable. At the foot of the throne are the three individuals you've been following. Garrett's mother, father, sister. Sat. Oh, everyone roll me a perception check. There seems to be something awry with this visage. Especially for you, Garrett. No one can quite make out exactly the features of the one who sits on the throne. Whatever's sat on this throne just appears to be a hazy visage, almost like a frozen mist seems to shroud them from view. But with that said, what happens here, Garrett?
You see Commander Blackthorn in all of his regalia join the family unit and stand on the other side to assist. As the whole family sinks to one knee in front of the Queen. And the Queen looks down on her subject and says, "Rise. There's no need for that now. Your service to the court has been exemplary. Your son is commander of our forces. Your daughter is a strong druid, keeping up our lands and forests safe. But you two, Matthias and Neve, you have lived a long, good life in the court. Your advice has been invaluable. Your minds are still as sharp as a new winter icicle. But your bodies are failing you now. I have chosen to bestow on you quite the honor. You will stay with me in my court, permanent advisors, together, things will change, but you will know of your children's achievements and of course help me guiding the court forward. Are you ready to join? Garrett's parents look at each other, look at their two children. Garrett's jaw is set, trying not to show any emotion. The tears are streaming down Eva's face. Not in sadness, but pride in how her parents are being treated, honoured even. She looks at them both, says, please, you'll never be away from us. Garrett looks round and just gives a swift nod for placing his eyes back on the Queen. Garrett's father takes his mother's hand, gives it a squeeze. We are Her Majesty's servants, as always. Life, death, or whatever else you command, my Queen. And suddenly the Queen stands and is stood in front of him. Her movement down the steps was... You don't know if she's moved that quickly or even teleported, but she's in front of the couple. And leads them by hand to a side door, which opens up into a copse of trees, which shouldn't grow inside a castle, but it does. And in this copse is a very ornate chair that could almost be called a throne. The trees around them, there's a small pond. It's, if you were to imagine the most relaxing spot you could think of, probably that. This is where I come when I need advice from trusted advisors. And my loyal Blackthorns, this is where I wish you to be. Step to my right hand side and take each other in hand. So Garrett's parents move to their assigned position, stand face to face with both hands joined. Garrett and Ava stood in the doorway watching. Garrett has one arm around Ava's shoulders, who's sobbing uncontrollably. Queen moves forward and places a hand on Matthias and Neve's shoulders and starts to cast a spell. No. Their bodies start to change. Their skin becomes darker and bark starts forming. you hear the Queen whisper, "In life, you are constant companions. Going forward, you will never be apart." And the two trees start twisting together, forming one trunk from two trees, growing larger, stronger. And then you see a whole year's life cycle in the tree happen in front of your eyes. They buds. The lovely green, strong leaves. The fruiting. And then winter hits. And as you would expect, the leaves to turn brown and start to fall. They don't. Magically, Queen has kept them evergreen, now a permanent fixture of her court. And here they will forever be the most valued advisors to the throne. Don't be sad, young blackthorns. They will live on and flourish. And then you see the two blackthorn children bow and start moving their way to the back of the room to go and spend some time together, as they're the only people that witness this transformation. And the memory starts to grow hazy. And that's me.
Okay. Okay, I've got this. So, the memory doesn't go hazy. You would see with Garrett and Ava sat to the back of the room holding themselves, the form of the winter, or what you believe to be the Winter Queen. At the moment, it seems to be just to your eyes, a roiling mass of mist and snowflakes make her way back to the throne. Vanya, you felt the pull of Garrett closing this memory out, but you can't. This form of the Queen making her way to the throne will give you all a few moments. Garrett, you, like the other memories, have closed off what happens next. This now should be the end. This should be it. This, you got all you needed from here, but something is not right. And this feeling is not the not Vanya's concentration being found lacking or wanting. This is something completely different.
Is the dream crystal doing anything funny?
Roll me an Arcana check, another one. It almost feels like the nurse herself is trying to pull you away from this memory. You feel a draining sensation coming from the crystal, and occasionally the odd voice from the nurse will be, "Time to depart, dear sister. Time to depart. Now. Now."
I can't.
Vanya, I left the throne room, and this isn't my memory anymore.
I can't, Garrett. Something. I don't know if something is aware of us here or not, but I can't. We can't.
You begin to hear steps.
Outside to go what? Sorry.
No. I'm about to say, all you would hear at this point is feet on steps as the form of the Winter Queen begins to ascend the stairwell towards the throne.
Garrett, is she supposed to look like that? Gesturing towards the queen.
She regularly has her face covered. Her beauty is too much for some. And she only really drops it when she's angry.
Vanya, you would know something about this as well. Sorry, go on, Garrett.
You wouldn't want to see her drop it.
I think she may know that we're here. She's very
Garrett's eyes go wide, and he drops to one knee, staring up at the throne.
Cypher follows suits and drops to one knee beside Garrett.
So does Reza just behind Garrett.
And Vanya.
Dorian, what do you do?
Dorian's looking around and looking up. Does it seem like this thing is like aware of us in the same way that the eyes were and other things?
Roll me a perception check, please. Yask. Yaskir, no. Now is not the time, good sir. Now is not the time. Yes. There is a certain feeling in the room that your presence here is known. An intelligence. Yeah, basically, she knows you're here.
He's gonna give her a bow. Just
finally reaching the top of the stairwell, this mass of mist and snow begins to wash and disperse out, and now sat on the throne is a thin, frail, but incredibly beautiful woman. Her skin, from the shadows at least where you can see her, seems to be dark blue. Pointed ears, but the most... the thing that would stand out the most would be these two ice blue piercing eyes that glance out towards you. She rests her hand under her chin as she crosses her knees on the throne, looking down at you all. Well, Commander Blackthorn, you are late. So very late.
My deepest apologies, my queen.
I care not for your apologies. No. Why? Actually, no. Not why. Whom? Come now. Reveal yourselves. There's no use in skulking in shadows. And with that...
Do as she says.
With that, Vanya, you feel the crystal vibrate and a somewhat half-transparent form of the nurse is almost pulled out of the crystal. You would all feel this, like the gravity itself increase, and the nurse is forcibly, her consciousness is forcibly extracted from this crystal and materialized in the throne room. The dear Winter Queen, it's been quite a... You see the nurse offer a hesitant bow. You are not the one I was talking to, Filth. The other. And she casts her eyes towards you, Cypher, and almost out of your shadow, Cypher, the coroner steps out to your side, offering just a single nod in greeting. There is a brief moment where the coroner and the Queen of the Winter Court lock eyes. You would all get the impression that they're sizing each other up. Now, thank you for presenting yourselves in my chambers. Commander Blackthorn, if I may inquire as to why you wish to spy, to scry on me, using the power of two hags, two liches, a fiend, and... She looks towards you, Reza, obvious disgust on her face. Whatever that is...
After the portal closed, I was stranded in Novostoya. I spent years going back to the tree of the portal, entreating it to open and let me come home. It never happened. After 50 years, I'd given up hope of ever seeing my family again or standing in your presence. And then, by pure happenstance, I met up with these people. Some later, but the core group I've come to rely on and call friend. The other two have come along later, and we have combined our powers to try and find a way to return to the court with everything we've learned and try and get the portal reopened.
The Winter Queen leans forward in her throne, a vicious smirk starting to curl at the edges of her mouth. So you have brought me these two as an offering. Ah. How kind. How generous.
Where it be your right to demand them as an offering, Your Majesty, I needed the ability to find a way to cross the realms to return, explore my own memory, which is where the hag came in. My other companion, although him being vastly different to what we have here, he's the only one I know that now he has seen our teleport circle will be able to return me back to the wilds.
And you think that working with miscreants such as these, I would want you back? No. You return on your own merits. But I am not as capricious or as... I understand you have worked hard, and therefore I shall reward you. The Queen holds out a hand, blows on the palm, and you would all feel a wave of cold air wash over you. But for you, Garrett, this is a blessing. This is a blessing from the Winter Queen herself. You feel reinvigorated, as if something once thought perhaps lost, or something that's slowly been fading, has been energized, reinvigorated even. The powers of the Winter Queen, the Winter Court of the Fae, rushes through you. Congratulations on your transformation to level 2 Fae.
Tears starting to stream down Gareth's cheek. He croaks, "Thank you, my queen."
She offers you a single nod, Garrett, and then with her hand palm down, motions for you to kneel and remain silent.
I follow her commands to the letter.
She then turns her attention back to the others gathered. Two hags, 3 undead, and 1 from the infernal realms. Whatever shall I do with you, especially you two? She points her finger towards you, Vanya, and the nurse. Attempting to scry upon royalty. I thought there were limits to stupidity, to idiocracy, but it seems that your kind never fail to, well, I would say meet expectations, but you never do. I think you two should be going now, yes?
Yes, but I would like to take my companions with me so that they are not lost.
Oh, you think, no, you seem to misunderstand when I said go. I don't mean leave. I mean, cease to exist.
Oh, I must continue existing because I am going to make an impact on this world to make it better. And I was here to help Garrett, of course.
Solution.
And,
Yeah?
I'm going to DM you something.
Sure, go for it. So you go on, Vanya?
and of course, all of this is towards my vision of making a better world.
The nurse will lean in close to you, Vanya, and you'll just hear, we are in a terrible grave danger here. Perhaps it's best not to antagonize our esteemed we are guests in her domain.
Oh, I'm not antagonizing. I thought she was just asking why I was here. Do continue. I apologize.
2 seconds, just need to respond to this. Yeah, roll me an insight check, Dorian. I'm going to say it's only going to be like DC 8. This is something that you would be inherently aware of. Okay. No, this before you is not someone assuming the position. What is currently in front of you is the consciousness of the Winter Queen. This is the being herself.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very much. You would be aware that certain creatures when they reach a certain heightened sense of power, those who are able to scry or at least offer some counter scrying abilities, this is on a whole nother level. This is her basically being able to interact with those that are attempting to scry on her through any means. This is a powerful entity. With that, though, the Winter Queen will look down and start to raise a finger towards you, Vanya, and the nurse, as to which a single voice would ring out.
Whilst I appreciate the warm welcome in your throne room, Your Majesty, I would request we be given leave to depart.
The nurse begins to nod vigorously, almost childlike. As the Winter Queen's attentions turn towards Cypher and the coroner. You, youngling, changeling, but no more now dead. Forsaken. A shame. You could have been so much more. So much more. This is to you, Cypher.
Cypher doesn't say anything. He's well aware of what he could have been, and what he should have been, and what he is now. And, like, that's just like a slap in the face, and he just doesn't say anything.
The Queen casts a glance towards you, Reza. You would see her face just curl into a snarl, just of utter disgust. Anything you wish to say to her?
I think Reza would see this and she would bow her head again behind Garrett and say, forgive me my nature this one time, your majesty. It was not of my choosing. But I am a loyal servant to your servant.
There, you have heard. So, with that, we appreciate your hospitality, but I will be taking our leave.
The Queen turns towards the coroner. Eyebrow arched. You leave. When I say you leave. The nurse is going to lean in towards you, Vanya. Are you able to, just on the off chance, cast silence? Or anyone?
No, I do not have the.
Oh, no.
But I wouldn't want to threaten that right now.
It's not so much a threat for her. Fine, I will. If this is going to play how I expect it to, she leans towards you, Vanya. Let the others know to get close to me as quick as possible if this goes south terribly, yes?
Oh, are you sure that they should get close to you? Aren't you like a target?
She'll just offer a single nod to the coroner, as at this point the conversation between the coroner and the Winter Queen is... It's cordial, yes, but with each cordiality there are undertones, undercurrents of hostility.
So, Your Majesty, I am going to depart with my companions, and wish you a pleasant heave. I trust that is sufficient for one such as yourself.
And what if it is not? You are the ones who barged into here, triggered my own scrying abilities, trying to find information on me. What makes you think that I'm going to let you all leave?
Then I dare say thinking is not your strong suit, Queen of Winter.
Garrett winces, but doesn't move.
Okay. Dorian's going to reach over to Vanya and just put his hand on her shoulder. He's looking at her. Is she physically holding the crystal that we're using in this little
Yes. Yeah.
setup?
She would
He's
be.
going to touch the crystal.
Okay.
Vanya's going to signal for everyone else to get close.
And Dorian, while the coroner is talking to her, is going to start dreaming of how it was before. This person's not felt the heat in a long time and is thinking of a way to make it absolutely hectic for her to do anything in the face of this so the coroner can get them out of there.
All right. Roll me a deception check.
Real
One-
quick
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Would you have like somehow let us know that you were doing that so maybe we could all
No.
focus in on that?
No.
Not that he needs to, because Dorian wants to get the fuck out of here. You reach.
Tripping icicles, raising temperatures,
You reach.
fires,
You reach
furnaces,
over. You reach over.
demons.
Grab hold of the crystal, and for a brief flicker, there are all these things. The room almost flickers into fire. Only for a split second. Just it goes from icy cold blue to just roaring inferno, and then back to ice. And the Winter Queen's eyes immediately dart to where you all are.
Mm-hmm.
It's at that moment. Here we go. With an outstretched hand, she casts Ice Storm. You see a ring of giant ice shards materialize in front of her outstretched hand as they become solid and start flinging towards you. At that moment, under his breath, you hear the coroner whisper a quick incantation. Just as the ice shards start moving towards you all, they burst out of existence, followed quickly by the coroner closing his eyes and casting Flame Strike. Immediately, fire erupts over the throne. As this fire engulfs the Winter Queen, it doesn't last long. As from where she was sat, all of a sudden, the fire bursts outwards in a sleet storm that seems to coalesce around her and then start to make its way towards the coroner. Whilst this is happening, the nurse shouts, "Gather round, everybody! Time to go! Time to..." Oh. And from where the nurse is, she will cast on herself silence. What do you all do as this battle starts to rage in the dream world between the coroner and the Winter Queen?
First of all, since I was very close to the coroner when this kicked off, I would like to get the fuck away from the coroner.
All right.
So yeah, I'll go towards the nurse before they come fucking, an unwitting casualty in this fucking exchange.
And Vanya's gonna let them all know that they need to come towards the nurse while all this is going down.
Dorian is going to start moving towards the nurse, and he's going to make sure that he's holding on to Vanya, so if something tries to impede her, he's taking her with him.
Okay.
And there's one other thing. The coroner, is he standing on the ground floor in front of the stairs?
He is, yes.
Okay. So the second thing Dorian is doing, I will DM it to you to see if it's possible.
Okay. Whilst this is going off and you're all making your way to each other, there is a brief respite in the conflict. Various spells, you see lightning ripple through, almost using some of the summoned ice bolts as conduits for the lightning to skirt round. Hitting the coroner, there's multiple times where he reaches out, counter spells. Just as the spell's about to hit him, it phases out of existence. And at the last minute, as one of the attacks from the Winter Queen falters, the coroner reaches both hands forward, closes his eyes, and a radiant light begins to be emitted. You see the Queen cover her eyes as she is temporarily blinded. Radiant fire washes over her, giving you all a moment of respite as you begin to duck towards the nurse. It's going to be difficult because it's frozen
comes to
solid.
it. If it comes to it, he'll
Yep.
give it a shot. Try to get him in close proximity.
Absolutely. All right. Is anybody not going within the zone of silence?
Yes.
You are not going in the zone of silence.
I've been commanded to kneel and stay there by the Queen. I am unable to do anything
Oh
else.
no. Oh no.
Cypher will race forward.
Roll me a... Let's have a look. Let's see what happens next. Roll me a dexterity. Let's go with acrobatics check, please.
Reza has stayed kneeling behind Garrett.
All right, there will be a spell going off before you reach Garrett. That's towards... In fact, let's have a look. Yeah, she's... Oh, man. At this point, as several spells have been thrown around, the temperature in the throne room drops even further. Winds begin to kick up and howl around. Anyone who wasn't resistant to cold damage, you are now. Who wasn't not resistant, sorry. It drops your resistance to cold damage and makes you vulnerable to it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So with that, whoever's not outside the zone of silence at the minute, which is slightly off, will be hit with... I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Shit.
We need token.
I'll just do it from there. Saving throw, yeah?
Yeah, just Constitution saving throw. You do it from your character sheet.
So Vanya's by the nurse.
You're fine.
Okay.
Cypher, Garrett, you both fail. Oh God, I'm sorry. Stepping out into this vortex of ice shards flying around, the Winter Queen herself casts Cone of Cold, blanketing. You would just see the air itself start to coalesce around her. The shards of ice forming begin to sharpen out to a point, and all of them begin to point forwards towards where the coroner was stood. And anyone around him. This carpet of ice shards just begins to pound into everyone. I think that puts you all unconscious for Garrett and Cypher.
Could I?
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Are they on something movable, like all of them together, where I could levitate that over to where the nurse is?
You're currently silenced.
You're currently
shit.
silenced.
I don't want to get out.
But it's worth noting, are they on the carpet by that blast?
Yes.
Are they pushed back?
Yes,
Okay.
they are on the carpet, as they're almost pinned to it as these shards of ice puncture through Garrett. Reza, you somehow at the last minute managed to dodge 4 to 5 of these 1 to 2 feet long shards of ice. Coroner. Ooh, it's a dex save. Let's see what... No, sorry, con save from the coroner. Even the coroner takes it. As this... The vast majority of these giant ice shards just begin to slam, puncturing through the coroner. You see his body start shaking at... Garrett, Cypher, you only took a couple of these things. The vast majority just seem to be slamming into the coroner. Dorian, what do you do? That's a good on whatever you do.
Dorian is going to grab the carpet that everyone is standing on at this point, or is on, and essentially is just going to start reeling this damn thing in back towards the zone of silence.
The coroner, seeing this, will jump off and shout towards you, Reza.
Get inside. You do not wish to hear what I am about to say. You are fucking ruining this. You will be the end of all of us.
Reza at 15 HP is already moving towards this. She's on the carpet too, I think, because she was with them. So she's well on her way to the silence.
As soon as this carpet's being rolled in, the coroner steps off, reaches out with a hand, and Flame Strike erupts towards the Winter Queen, who's now starting to make her way down the stairwell. It hits her, she screams for a brief moment before casting Counterspell to negate the half of the incoming fire. Dorian, you start reeling in the unconscious Garrett, Cypher, Reza helping, and you would just see the nurse just beckoning you into this sphere of silence. Do you all get in?
I'm unconscious.
Garrett's unconscious. Cypher, you're unconscious. Reza, are you jumping in,
I'm
you say?
unconscious.
Yeah, she's trying to help just keep Garrett and Cypher alive, and then they can get home and figure what the fuck just happened.
As soon as the three are brought within the sphere of influence of the silence off to the side, the nurse, telepathically to you, Vanya, will just scream in your head. Break the fucking crystal! It's also at this moment that you would see the coroner close his eyes. His lips move. And Vanya, what do you do?
So as she hears that, she falls to her knees and takes the crystal in both hands and slams it on the ground as hard as she can, shattering the crystal into a million pieces.
Those who are conscious, your vision immediately flicks to white. Before, with a blink, bleary-eyed, heads pounding, you return back to the Undercroft. Garrett, Cypher, this is all basically equated to psychic damage that you've taken. You're not dead. But god damn did it hurt. But for this moment in time, you are both unconscious. Reza, Vanya, Dorian, you glance around the Undercroft. Garrett and Cypher haven't woken up. Their forms still laid out where you left them initially. The nurse, obviously a manifestation. She's not here. But the coroner, he's there. Knelt in the position you left him in, but unmoving.
Now we are in the deep part of the Undercroft, correct?
I think it was in like the private chambers, not the deepest part, if I remember right. Correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. Where were you?
Yeah, the old living quarters in the croft.
Yeah, because
Well-
we were in
A bed of
vines from
Elias.
Elias.
Well, Dorian's going to roll out of the cot and look Cypher over and just, well, like he apparently would be dead regardless of anything that, like, Dorian's not going to be able to tell if there's anything worse going on here. He's going to look around to the people that are rousing themselves. I should probably get him back down to his sanctum.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
I think the coroner may be trapped in the dream world. And, I may have done that by shattering the crystal.
I probably ought to bring him down there then, too.
Is there anything anyone wishes to do at this immediate time, apart from probably transporting Garrett to the Thorn Room and transporting Cy from the coroner downstairs?
Those are the only things on Dorian's mind, is making sure that they're all, where they should be, which would be Garrett first, and then the other two, because they're going to the same place.
So,
I think
yep.
Vanya would understand, that they just need to heal up and that they have that under control, but she wants to talk to the nurse to see if there's anything that we can do to get the coroner back.
So, what we'll do is a couple of things. First, I think this now warrants a long rest. I certainly think there will be a period of downtime before the next event comes up.
You think so?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, so the next session or two will no doubt be downtime stuff as we're back, but we'll get them in now. So with Garrett being laid to rest, the coroner and Cypher also being laid to rest, never forgotten. Sorry, you're not dead.
Yes, I am.
You're not dead.
That's how you know he's dead.
We will pick
He's dead,
things...
but he got better.
Yeah, I would imagine the rest of you, because that wasn't sleep, that was a pretty traumatic time, but we'll pick up the aftermath after a break, I guess. We'll have one last break, and congratulations on level 9.
Booyah.
What?
Yeah. Congrats.
Levels up for Garrett.
Yeah, that's right. Some of us just flipped the bird to a cosmic entity, You're welcome.
I have to pee.
Same. Wow, Solution had to piss so bad he was gone, like, by the time he said that we're going to take a break. Weird occurrence. That's right, Nikki. Gonna have to get the wallet. Badass motherfucker.
Alright, we're searching out world-ending entities just to flip them off. Let's go!
I literally said I would be right back. Cool. Yeah. Winter Queen, no joke.
She a sassy bitch.
Don't think I've spoken so much in my entire life.
Hey. In fact, I'm gonna take this moment just to, for the last what's been 4 episodes, where I as DM have not had to do a great deal. So, round of applause for the players taking the reins as being basically DMs for the last 4 sessions. You all did fantastically. I'm proud. And it was thoroughly enjoyable. I've really enjoyed everyone's backstories now getting out into the open after 80 odd episodes. So thank you, everyone. But with that said, then, if we're all back.
Yeah.
We will bring it to the next morning. Everyone has retired, having, even if they didn't want to, just collapsed through sheer mental exhaustion. This was an endeavor, if nothing else. Vanya, for you, the first time delving into the dreams of intelligent individuals was taxing. Others having to recall their trauma, their upbringing, and couple that with the throbbing headache, having to fight off all of the weird machinations and nightmares that occurred there. You were exhausted. But that brings us to the morning after. I'm going to pick up first with you, Cypher.
Oh, wonderful.
You have been laid to rest in the sanctum. You're groggy, as in fact, rather than me describe it, what's the after effects of all this? There's no physical damage, but
he opens his eye, and even that hurts. Like, just the muscles open his eyelids hurts. He just goes, fucking Vanya, stupid idea. And he rolls off, because he's probably been laid to rest on one of these pews, and he'll roll off onto his all fours. And he's just like, get up, dust himself up. Everything in his body's cracking. Like, every time he moves a finger, arms, back. He's just like a clicky, clanking skeleton at the minute, just trying to get the kinks out, and he hurts everywhere. And then he looks up and there's the coroner, and he's like, shit.
The familiar energy that surrounds the coroner, that of the soul energy, that's what he's constantly circulating within himself, is nowhere to be found. What is in front of you is basically a corpse. A very old corpse. Like the soul itself has just been taken out.
Well, usually Cypher attunes with his obelisk to feed his needs. And then he knows it's damaged, but for now he's kind of like, well, fuck, I need to kickstart the battery. And he does have a full phylactery, so he's gonna kind of use that. He's gonna press it on his forehead and use it like a fucking pair of jumper cables on a car to kickstart the coroner.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Back.
Welcome back. This... are you draining your phylactery, or are you keeping some?
I'll keep one charge.
One charge. You pour all of the souls from your phylactery into the body of the coroner, and also begin to siphon from the obelisk. You spend roughly 5 minutes doing this. It seems to be taking longer than usual, and when the last soul is poured in, you get the impression that the souls are being fed through to his soul, but it's almost like the souls that are entering the body and then dripping through elsewhere. Almost like his body's acting as a conduit.
Yeah. So he's got to stand up and immediately dimension door upstairs, and he's kicking open doors and he's shouting for Vanya.
Where's Vanya at this point?
Well, if they were all resting, she's down in the area in her room,
Her little hovel.
just kind of her little hovel, passed out, and then but that will wake her, and she'll be, and then like she's gonna look like disheveled, like she's had a hard night's sleep, and is gonna start just like heading towards the sound of Cypher.
Who's in the middle of a toddler tantrum right now.
What? And she'll walk in and she'll see the corner, and it just kind of like it hits her because she was planning on going to see the nurse about all of it and was just kind of relieved that he was there, but wasn't certain what was going on. What, Cypher?
You fix him now.
Well, don't, she pulls out her, oh, where is it? It's that tome, and starts writing in it furiously. How do I fix the corner? How do I fix a lich?
Roll me an Arcana, roll me an Arcana check, please, or a history check.
I get to decide?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go Arcana.
Okay. You open, what's the book called again? The Forbidden Tome, and you begin to scroll into it, and immediately you're just met with this face that looms out of the page. What's a coroner? Normally they deal with the dead, do they not? What's wrong with
A
him?
lich! A lich! Hurry!
How do you fix a lich? Have you tried sticking his arms? What's broken exactly?
All of him. I think. Cypher.
His consciousness and a vast majority of his soul are still stuck. I'm guessing in the dream realm where you fucking left him.
Yeah, he's right. Did you hear that?
The book blinks, or the page blinks at you. There's a dream realm.
Oh, for God's sake. And she shuts the book. I think I need the nurse, Cypher.
No, she's the reason we're in this mess. You will fix him.
Would Vanya know, like, would she need to go get some dream crystals, or how she could kind of dive in to, because I would think she would need to go and kind of bring him back, right?
You tell me, Mistress of the Dream Realm.
Oh, okay, so I get to, okay.
You've got a new spell at your disposal after all that. If you wish to look over that whilst we see what the rest of the crew are up to, could give you some time.
Yeah.
We shall do that.
I would. What is the name?
It's called Dream.
Dream.
All right.
Get it.
Who wants to go next? Garrett, Dorian, Reza?
I will just say that when they landed and began, recovering, Reza would have, like, Dorian handled, I guess, the coroner and Cypher. Reza would have gone to the throne room with Garrett.
Okay.
Thorn room with Garrett to make sure, like, he gets, like, health potion, gets tucked in, like Elias is watching over him, that kind of thing. So that's where she would have gone. So I'll just say that.
All right. In that case, then, Garrett, we'll pop it to you if in the Undercroft.
Well, Garrett doesn't regain consciousness, but
Okay.
Elias snakes down from all over the throne room and picks up his unconscious form and starts wrapping round him and round him and round him till he's almost like a seed pod / cocoon of Elias tendrils being held from the ceiling.
So yeah, Reza, you walk into the throne room and just see what's basically a cocoon hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would imagine she'd, like, carried or dragged him in there, so she would have seen the whole thing happen. She's like, okay, I think this is probably normal. Elias, I gather you're going to take care of him, make sure he's okay.
The vine snakes down and flops gently onto your shoulder for a moment.
Oh, is it okay if I just kind of, like, stay here and just kind of, like, relax? Because that was a lot. I don't know how much you heard what was going on, because, like, we were basically sleeping in your arms, but that was a lot.
The vines, now several, descend from the ceiling, begin to twirl around each other, knit in and out, and make almost like a mix between a hammock and a chaise lounge.
And Reza says, "You wonderful, wonderful plant," and she just kind of collapses into said seating arrangement and, like, falls into, like, the elven trance / dream state
All
Where
right.
she will be until something wakes her up. Who knows what?
Dorian, anything you wish to do in the morning after?
Well, having deposited the 2 cadavers down below,
Wow. Okay.
it's
I mean,
factual.
Yeah.
Factual. Well, actually, Dorian might see a way to play this. So, Dorian is going to go to lower streets,
All right.
to a place known as the Pious Pauper.
Oh shit. Okay. Actually, it's not so much lower streets, but it's Market Row where the Pious Pauper is located. But you step out into the familiar visage. Sorry, I've got a cat. I'm trying to.
I understand totally, man. My cat's been over here sticking his claws into my arm. Like, it's.
Yeah,
I get it.
I'm trying to move stuff, and his headbutting my hand whilst pressing the space bar. You, good sir, need to depart. Mwah. Thank you. All right, so, yeah, you step back out into perhaps more pleasant surroundings at this point. Into lower streets, through the over the cobble streets into Market Row, eventually finding yourself outside the Pious Pauper.
Now, if you'll recall, Dorian had been doing this previously where he was basically like standing as close as he could for as long as he could.
Yeah.
Trying to basically work his way to the point where he could walk up to the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's going to resume that to try to get to the door.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, please. With advantage, since you've been doing this for quite a while now.
Been building up a resistance over a long period of time. Wow.
And
talk about the fucking duality.
What was that, man? Oh my god, a nat 20
1
and a
and a
nat
20.
1. Excellent. I guess you'll take the 20, yeah?
Sorry, I would prefer to take the 20.
All right, yeah, by all means, treat yourself.
So he's going to, it's not a quick process. He takes a step, he waits. He takes a step, and he's going to get up to the door and he's going to rap at the door. Just knock on it.
Several moments pass, and you just hear a voice from the other side. It is a little early for calls. I'm not open yet, but is it an emergency?
I think this might qualify.
There is a pause. That seems to go on a little longer than one would anticipate, to the point where it starts to become awkward. Then you hear the latch on the door flick open. The wood swings, and the face of Lamorna Trenbath is there, glancing at you. A quizzical, if somewhat sour expression plastered across her face as she looks up and down you, Dorian. Well, this is a surprise. And what can I help you with?
If I'm not wrong, I think it might be more something I can help you with. Or something more along those lines.
Roll me a persuasion check. She starts to speak a few words of, and why would I ever trust a word you're... Oh. Hmm. Something has happened. Someone has been
Yes.
dabbling in things that they shouldn't. Someone's ire has been caught. Fine. Come in.
And he's going to nod to her and step inside.
There is a brief moment where you would feel unwelcome, almost as if there is a force pushing you out of this place. Again, a stronger feeling to that you have been ingratiating yourself with. But the chirurgeon, Lamona, raises her hand, clicks her fingers, and whatever feeling was there just disperses. In fact, at this point, it now almost feels welcoming. As if this very ground that was perhaps once hollowed is now not. The opposite.
Well then, I won't take too much of your time. I don't need to stay for tea or anything. However, our mutual acquaintance, the old man, he's a bit indisposed.
Indisposed? How so?
Well, his strings have been a bit cut for the time being. I'm not entirely convinced that another acquaintance is not the orchestrator, but perhaps influenced us. I mean, you know how without checks and balances, people can get out of hand.
She looks towards you, Dorian. Just tell me straight, without the flowery words. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
We were in the dream world trying to find memories, and the coroner was with us, and the nurse got involved, and now the coroner, his body is here, but his, whatever it is, consciousness, soul, whatever, is perhaps lagging behind a bit and hasn't caught up with the body.
Right. Is that so?
Of course, we'll see him right, but things take time, and when the cat's away, the mice and all that. So, thought you'd best be apprised, seeing how you're the only person over there who has any yet about them that isn't out just for themselves at the current time.
Watch your words, demon. But, whilst I loathe to say it, I appreciate you informing me that the priest is currently indisposed.
So if he has any world-shattering artifacts you'd rather not have a witch get her fingers on, should probably go and take them for safekeeping.
The architect of this little excursion across the plains, the nurse herself took you? I can't see the coroner delving into the dreamscape, not within his repertoire.
You know Blackthorn,
Yes.
the hunter. Going in, turns out there are creatures in certain places, even just of the mind, that have a bit stronger of a grip than you'd expect. So, trying to find something to help him reconnect with his kin. Rather noble goal, if I say so myself, don't you think? Well, anyhow, we're assisting him, and some Ice Queen apparently took umbrage to the fact that we were traipsing in his mind to try to help him reach out and make contact with his lost, and as you might expect from such a powerful being, they're not exactly reasonable or... And he just takes a moment to kind of veer his mind away from thinking about other beings besides this one, because they might be in the presence of such a thing. Well, so, as I said, he's indisposed, he's physically here, but his mind's wandering literally.
Vanya, the young little hag, was the one who orchestrated this, I guess.
It was her trip, and I think
Foolish
there were
child.
hands on her shoulder.
Of course there were hands on her shoulder. That is what the nurse does. Ah, when will you learn? She doesn't say you as in you personally, but just get the impression you as in mortal races.
Did she just you people us?
She did indeed just you people. The rest of the group. Not Dorian, because she knows what Dorian is.
Dorian's exact response is going to be, they don't. That's why everything works the way it does, or at least it should or would have back then. Water pushing the wheel, pushing the grindstone, and so on. You're familiar.
Well, as long as she doesn't delay his endeavours by more than 100 or so years, then... I shall have a word with our little witch and see what she has been scheming.
Well, I know that there's at least one blade about yay long, and he puts his hands out in his study that she'd love to get her fingers on. Her claws, if you will.
Ah.
There may be more that I don't even know about, but I'm guessing you may.
Yes, it seems that we are going to have to go and have a little discussion. Now, is that everything?
How are you enjoying the lower streets these days? I hear it's quite a bit better since the Doctor were cleared up.
You feel unwelcome. And then she says, I believe it's time for you to go.
He's going to start backpedaling out. Just here. No good deed, eh? No good deed. But don't worry, you'll see me again before too long. And he's just going to say that as he's just backing out, opening the door, getting out of there as fast as possible.
Can't fucking help yourself, can you?
I love it.
Yeah, fuck it, let's just piss off all the big entities, why not?
Well, the nurse, yes, also, the nurse shuns the coroner. So Dorian's thinking, oh, really, bitch, really? And now he just went and told, like, the actual teacher, not just the teacher's pet, what she's been up to. So now she has an even bigger and more, now she has an even heavier weight looming over her.
Mom, they're being mean to me.
It's 100% what it is. It's running and telling.
You demon.
Yes.
Fancy that. Good saves on the old con, though. Can't force you to take any radiant damage on that one. Well played. But yeah, as you back out of the Pious Pauper, the door closes behind you, you hear the sound of a lock kicking back in. You are
All
left back in the streets.
And then Dorian's going to just start walking the streets, looking at, because it feels like it's been a while since we were in lower streets, even though it was just an evening.
Mhm.
He's just gonna traipse about and look things over, see all the familiar sights, try to just assess change, like, because it, just refamiliarize a bit.
You are met with the usual group who recognize you, shaking babies and kissing hands, or vice versa. As the governor, few of the more militant groups offer you respectful nods. The sisters at the Rose Cross give you a wide berth. But they seem to be doing incredibly well. There's not a moment goes by where you see at least one of the white and red robed individuals either hawking on street corners for the Happy Healer, looking for members, helping. The one thing you would notice that there aren't many beggars in Lower Streets or Market Row at this point. And the ones that you do see, you get the impression that they're only there when the Sisters of the Rose Cross are not. To the point where some of them look pretty well dressed for beggars.
And they're
Convenient.
definitely not all on the Follies payroll to help make Lower Streets more
uh-huh.
uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. But that's what Dorian's going to spend his time doing. So
Excellent.
that's me.
All right. Anybody have anything else they wish to do after Mr. Telltale's been out on his errands? Was that a no?
I've got nothing I need to do this session.
Okay. Perfect. Well, if that's the case, then if no one has anything they wish to do this session. I think that's a pretty good point. Go on.
Are we going back to Vadya and Cypher?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is there anyone else who wants to do
Oh,
anything?
okay. I thought you meant like them
No,
before
no.
we
No.
came to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Like to get something in motion.
Absolutely. So, where are we? Are we still in the Undercroft?
So yes,
Cypher
so
Sanctum?
we're still around the corner, and
Okay.
Vanya is still like, she's okay. Everybody, just calm down. Cypher, just calm down. Just I need a moment. I need a moment to think. So she's just gonna close her eyes for a second and take a deep breath. Okay, I think I got it. I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Which is?
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rescue him. Do you have a soul crystal?
No, I give you the last one, and
Do you have something that I could put his soul into when I go back?
put his soul in something? You want to put his soul in something?
Isn't that you're wanting his soul back, right?
Well, yes, but he is a 5,000-year-old lich. His soul is fragmented and swollen and bloated. No, I don't have a vessel just lying around that will fit a soul.
But would that work? Could we get a vessel to do that? That's a good idea, right?
Well, since it's tethered to his phylactery, probably not.
Well, that's
If you could just guide it back to his phylactery, then he should be fine.
well. Okay, well, that's not initially what I was thinking. But so if I guess, okay. So if I have to guide him back there, maybe we go there and then I just kind of then take him to his phylactery within his dreams.
Wait. We?
Uh, I mean, you understand liches and
I do. However, that costs nothing in your funny little dream realm.
I mean, you can stay here and I guess I can just, I don't know, try to figure out how to navigate him back there. But I will go back.
Think of it as another step into independence, away from your sister.
I mean, I didn't plan on taking her anyways.
As for a vessel that can temporarily house the coroner's soul, I might be able to make something if you're very quick.
Oh, so it could work if we did it like that. I just have to take it back to his phylactery. Is that how you liches work?
Yes.
Or do
you
I
don't know
bring it back
much.
here?
Just bring it back
No, I
here
don't.
so we can put it back in his body. He can, once he's out of there and back in this realm of existence, he can fix himself.
I feel like you're very angry right now. This is fixable.
Is it? Is it fixable?
I think so. We just have to remain positive and just just believe that we can do it.
Well, I believe it's quite possible he might just kill you in the dream realm.
Well, I'll try to talk him out of it.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay, so you need to make a vessel.
I do. I'm going to need some sacrifices.
Some sacrifices, like 1, 2, a goat.
A goat? What am I at?
What do you need to sacrifice? I just
Some
last time I
people.
tried to look for goats, that did not. I did not find goats. I found dire
Some
wolves.
healthy people. Strong and healthy and vibrant.
How many?
As many as you're able to get.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be only able to get one and then come back and then that's not enough. Like, could you give me a minimum count, maybe?
A dozen. 2 dozen would be better.
2 dozen. Oh. Because I was going to go up to the Folly and I was going to have Falco help me, like, meeting me around in the alley, and I was going to lure some people, but I don't know.
Oh my god.
That would clear the entire Folly out.
Yes. I'm.
Probably not the Folly.
Yes, and hopefully nobody that'll be missed.
Oh, yeah, I was going to straight up, ask him to make sure of that.
Well, maybe. Actually, the Undercroft, where the sisters are. I'll be waiting there.
Oh, that's
Yeah, well.
that's where you want to do it? That would be a perfect location because I could get my sisters to lure these specimens in for you.
Excellent. Wonderful. Yes, I don't want to do it here, too close to this. And he just kind of waves in the general direction of his cracked obelisk.
So, and we're wanting to bring him back. Why?
Well, because I said so.
Because
Is he
he's
still
Cypher's
gonna
cool
be-
uncle.
Is he still going to be rooming with you when he gets back?
It's very possible. I have no idea, Vanya.
Okay. No time
Is
to
that a
waste.
problem?
Right? No. I thought you didn't like it, and maybe this was your opportunity to get rid
Well,
of
I
him,
don't, but lots of his stuff is here, and I get free reign on all of his stuff while it's in my house. So
that's a win-win right there, right?
yes, that is 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, well, so I will meet you back at the Sisterhood and at the Rose Cross headquarters, and I'm gonna go right now, and I'm gonna get my sisters, and we're gonna be very, very quick. We're gonna get this done really quick, and this is gonna be great because it's gonna help me still better, get stronger in the dream world, and so that I can help more people. So these individuals that are being brought to you, they're not a waste.
Right. You're just talking at me now, Vanya. I don't care.
I'm just trying to justify, bringing that many people to you.
How about this for justification? If you don't help the coroner get back, and he gets back on his own somehow, what do you think the consequences for you and your sister will be?
Oh, well, you put it into that perspective. I'm gonna go. I feel like we have a good plan, right?
Rock solid.
All right. And then Vanya heads out to go meet her sisters.
Excellent. Which leaves Cypher and the lifeless corpse of the coroner in the sanctum. Anything you wish to do, Cypher?
Yes. Is the coroner's grimoire here?
Yes. On his body.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's a shame.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's 24 hours unimpeded with the coroner's fucking grimoire.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Excellent. So with that said, Vanya, you head out towards the Sisterhood of the Rose Cross. I'm going to let you dream up how you sort all this for next session. How you capture these willing participants. Anything anyone else wishes to say before we close today's session out?
It could have been worse.
Could it?
Vanya's.
Yeah, we all could have been
never-
killed by the fucking the Queen of the Winter Court.
That's fair.
Thank you for sitting through 4 hours of my story.
Vanya's never had Cypher this mad at her before. She don't know what to do.
Well, you don't just leave world-ending fucking creatures in limbo when it's your fault. I'm just saying.
Literally, the whole point was so the coroner could open a portal for Garrett to get home. So important for this not having been a huge fucking waste of time and bodies.
It can be fixed. It can all be fixed. You guys just need to calm down.
Reza's sleeping. She's fine.
Vanya's got this. You guys have nothing to worry about. She always comes through.
You know what? I trust you even less than when you started that sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye, Trap.
And see you next time on Pariahs.
Ah, dear me. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us for episode 27. I'm going to flick us over to the end screen, which should be that one. Oh, dear me. Who'd have thought? Crazy that you piss off so many world-ending entities that there's, something like this may happen. Who knew? Who knew? With that said, though, excuse me, I've got this cat that's currently being babied, so I definitely think it's time to depart. Nikki, thank you for those 62 months. Excuse me, fizzy water. Thank you for that 62-month resub. I appreciate it. Rayvon, Jacko, hello, buddy. Thank you, man. But yeah, Rayvon, Durs, Yeti, good to see you again, mate. Jacko, I also know Mirabun Hun. I saw you in there as well. Apologies that it takes me so long to get round to chats. I mean, you know what it's like. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the last few sessions of delving into everyone's backstory. It was definitely needed, just so that we've got all of the cards out on the table now, where everyone came from, who they are, what they've been through, and why they are what they are. And I think that pretty much answers everything. That said, though, we'll turn the music up and let's find someone to raid. It's all good, Yeti. No need to apologise. There's no need to apologise at all. Demigod War. I mean, yeah, Coroner, Winter Queen. It was certainly one for the ages. Who is streaming and what are they streaming? Let's... decisions, chat. Someone recommend me someone to raid. We'll go with a chat recommendation, if anyone's got one. If not, we'll have a look at Dungeons & Dragons. Ah, Yask! Get your claws out me chest! Alright, I'm going to pick a stream at random, and we shall go over yonder. Medem Live. Severed Threads. Episode 2 of their campaign. Let's see what they're up to. So with that then, everyone, thank you again for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us for episode 28 next week, next Sunday. I am starting up another brief Imperium Maledictum short campaign soon, but again, that'll only be for 3 or 4 episodes, just as something as a filler. And then there's things in the background that's going on. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to go. But with that, everyone, thank you. Enjoy the rest of whatever time of the weekend remains. Ta for now.